podcast. This is me, Yalabash, and I'm here with you today with a new guest. And our conversation will be based on how to get unstuck and create your next chapter with Jennifer Hart Arton. I hope, like I always say, I don't know exactly how to pronounce names, but I hope I did right, Jennifer. So let's welcome Jennifer to our show today and enjoy. Hello, hello, Jennifer. Welcome to Entrepreneur Talks.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, you're welcome. Did I pronounce your surname right?
Almost. It's Arthurton. Arthurton. They're very
Arthurton.
close. It was very close.
This is one of the things I always struggle with my guests' names or surnames, but I found funny because I love to be able to say the names properly. Uh, because I don't know, it's just me. I don't know
Yeah.
if you are like
No,
that, but
thank you.
I am like that. I always enjoy this to make sure I call people in the right way. So, Jennifer, I'm so glad that you're here today with us before Christmas. So, this is an amazing, and I'm so grateful for the fact that you took some time to be here because during this season, holiday season is always very busy. A lot of
Yeah.
people on shoppings and buying lastminute.com gifts and becomes the chaos, and sometimes we need to prepare food and everything. But thank you so much for being here to take time to be with me today and bring your story.
Thank you for having me. I am so happy to be here.
Awesome. So tell us, where are you talking from right now?
So I am in Toronto, Canada.
Wow, great. So it's sunny. Oh, it's sunny, right?
It's actually a beautiful day. Like, we are in winter, but today is warm and sunny, and we're supposed to get a snowstorm in, I think, tomorrow, but today is beautiful. So we're taking advantage of it.
And what time is it right now?
It's noon, like 12:30. Yeah, noon time.
Oh, okay, all right. So here in the United Kingdom, London is almost five something, right? Yeah, 5:30.
Yeah.
And it's cold, but it's beautiful as well. It's been much better comparing to last week. It's cold. Too cold. But you know the weather, right? Because you're from here, so I
Yeah.
heard that so
Yeah.
you are from here. Okay, so now let's start. In 3 words, could you describe yourself?
Wow. 3 words to describe myself. I would say creative, intuitive, and I would say ambitious.
Love it. Creative,
Yeah.
intuitive, and ambitious.
Yeah.
Why creative?
So it's interesting that you asked that question, because had you asked me to describe myself 5-10 years ago, in the middle of my corporate career, I probably would not have chosen the word creative. But I have since discovered that I love creating. Like, I do my podcast, I write, I'm creating programs, I'm, doing all kinds of things. And I did not realize that was a very dormant part of who I naturally am, but that never got to be expressed. So yeah, it's an interesting question.
Amazing. And that's why I came up with this specific title, How to Get Unstuck, and is what you shared with your story, right? Or with your business, how to get unstuck. And what happened for you to create this new chapter in your life? Or how was
So I had a almost 30-year corporate career in marketing for a large global organization. I did all of the things that I was supposed to do, go to a good college, get good grades, get a good job, work your way up the ranks, which I did. And then in the year leading up to my 50th birthday, I found myself divorced, unemployed, an empty nester, and I was also bedridden with a stress-related illness, to the point that most days I couldn't even get out of bed. So, it was like, okay, if I want my life to be different, I have to show up differently in it. But it took me a while, to get to that place. First I threw myself a big old pity party and I wallowed in it, and I compared myself to everybody, and how come everybody else's life is going along okay and mine is not? And it was literally a case of every identity that I thought I was in the world. So wife, mom, corporate executive. At the time, I was a super, super avid gym goer. All of those titles were stripped from me in a really short space of time. And I realized that I had no idea who the person was underneath all of those titles. I was defined by my roles and responsibilities in life. And it was a kind of a scary realization to know that I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what would make me happy. I didn't know what I wanted from my life. And so it started a whole process of really deep spiritual and personal development, and just a journey of discovery, really, to figure out who this woman was.
Wow. Yeah. And that happens a lot. I think I'm not sure if it's mostly women, but I do know that a huge number of women pass through that, because we have the multitask things, is our natural, it's from us, is natural on us, and then we come to a point we just discover what's going on, why I'm like this. It is stressful it can be very stressful, and you went really, really deep, right, to the point that you are in bed and you can't do anything, but then you came up and you started a new chapter. And what is this new chapter about?
So, in the process of discovering myself, I literally, I had no idea what I wanted for my life. I was completely stuck. And, I decided to get to know who I was and what I liked. I just decided to try some things, what would make me happy. So I started writing, and then I started a blog, which was how it all started. And it was called Old Chicks No Shit, because what happened was, as I started to tell you my story, like you just explained, I came across lots of other women who, the story was the circumstances were different, but the story was very similar. And I started to realize that, oh my goodness, I'm not the only one. And there were so many women, even if they weren't, didn't have a midlife crisis like I did, were having this questioning, right? Is this my life? Is this really what I want from my life? What do I want my life to mean? And I think it's because, as women, we are so cultured to see our value in what we do for others, right? Yeah. So for our families, for our careers, for our kids, everybody else. And we kind of fall last on our list. And I think we reach this point in midlife, and usually it happens around, the time the menopause begins, where we start this questioning, who am I and what is it that I want from my life? And so, that became, the blog became the podcast, became the Old Chicks No Shit community, where basically I coach and support midlife women who are chasing their dreams and creating what I call their kick-ass next chapter. Wow. Because the narrative of what it means to be a woman over 40 or 50 or 60 in our culture is not pretty, right? You're no longer valuable, you're no longer relevant, this is like the beginning of the end, and it's so not true. It's rubbish, right? So as women, we are so not even just as women, but we have all of these, this wisdom and experience and knowledge, right? Yeah. And then when we can tune inwards and figure out who we are, what our innate gifts are, and what it is that we want from our lives, we can turn all of that wisdom and experience and knowledge into something incredible. And I see women in my community and the women that I interview on the podcast doing incredible things with the second chapter of their life. And I would like that to become the mainstream narrative.
Yes.
Right? So,
yes. Yeah. And just to, it's not to correct, but I want to say thank you straight away now after hearing you talking the wonderful job that you're doing, this new chapter that is happening right now in your life. And also I want to remind you and remind myself and every woman that is going to be listening this session or other opportunities they will be able to listen you, that we are no longer that women that we are not being noticed,
Yeah.
because now the work you do, what I'm doing, is changing the mentality of people, because we can do it no matter what age we are, especially between
Absolutely.
our 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, we still be able to do something. And it's a lot of
Yeah.
amazing women right now doing great things for the world.
Absolutely. 100% agree. In fact, I interviewed a woman on the podcast the other day who's 75 and starting her third business, right? So it's never too late, like, to follow your passion.
Goosebumps right now. Like, yes.
Yeah, it's never too late.
It's never too late. It is amazing. And so I believe, I think, right, because you bring a lot of midlife change and transformation, because you are now on the 50s. So do you think is the most powerful point in a woman's life?
Oh, by far. And the reason is this, like I mentioned earlier, in the first part of our lives, in the first chapters of our lives, we're all about, like, building our families, raising our kids, building our careers, and we're investing a lot in the things outside of us, right? And rightly so. That's what those chapters of our lives are about. But when we reach this chapter of our life, and by the time we reach this chapter of our life, we have conquered challenges, solved problems, overcome things, not to mention, just all of the life experience and wisdom and everything that we have. And then what happens is, when we reach this chapter of our life, we start being called inward, right? So we refocus our energy from all of those things outside us to what's inside us. So what do we want? What matters to us? What's important to us? And so when you take all of that knowledge and wisdom and experience, and you layer on, that everything that's coming from inside of us, like following our passion, following our joy, finding our purpose, and being guided from inside as opposed to from outside, it is a ridiculously powerful combination. And I say all the time, we have absolutely everything we need inside us to create that next chapter that we want. And the problem with most of us is why we feel stuck is, in the process of doing everything outside of us, we've become disconnected from ourselves. And so the real job that we're doing at this time is turning inwards and, recognizing who we are, discovering our most authentic self. Because in that authenticity lies our passion, our purpose, our joy. And that's what this chapter is all about.
I love it. I'm so excited. Now I became more excited about my 50s. I still go 4 years to go to reach 50. But I'm already preparing my party. Can you imagine?
Celebrate it.
I'm already thinking how I'm going to celebrate my 50s. And I want to go away with a couple of women and just spend 3 amazing days, but in another country. I'm already so this is just one slice, like little slice of the portion that is coming in. And hearing you makes me even more excited to that time, because it's so true. Because nowadays I live for my purpose, I live for my desire, I live for my passion, I live for everything that it makes me better person, and love myself. But before, I used to live more for others, like you just mentioned, because my daughter I need to carry on. Today I still live for these people, or I still do things for others, but the focus is really on me. It starts from me to be able to give away to others, because before I didn't know that. I wish I could know, but no.
Yeah. But you know what? It's all perfect. It's all perfectly timed because, like I said, in those first chapters of our lives, we're needed elsewhere, right? Like we have families to raise and kids to take care of. But it's like, and then, our culture tells us, well, as soon as that job's done, as soon as your kids are raised, well, then you're no longer valuable and useful, right? You don't look like you used to, right? And that's the other thing. Like we're conditioned to see our value in how we look. And so when you don't look like you used to, and now your kids are, gone and don't need you as much, we start questioning, okay, where do my value lie? And, that's the sad part, is that so many of us, and I did this when I, in the first part of my journey, I was like, it's too old. I'm too old. It's too late to start over at 50. I'm supposed to be, riding off into the retirement sunset on the arm of a handsome man carrying a big pot of gold. That was not my reality, but that's what our culture tells us. Yeah. Right. So for us to then, basically we're rebelling against that cultural narrative, and we're saying, no, my value is still here. Just my value looks a lot different. It's not based on what you want. It's based on what I want.
Yes. That's awesome. So in terms of, I'm just having another question, and I'm reading how I'm going to say this. Your reinventation journey from divorce, burnout, corporate executive, discovering yourself and creating a life you love. So today, for yourself, you living the life you love.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I have found parts of myself that I didn't know existed. So the creative part of me, even the intuitive part of me, like my business right now is very much driven by not by, what people tell me to do or what society tells me to do. It's by what I feel. Does it feel right? How does it feel? And those are two things that just didn't enter my frame of reference, before this time. And so discovering those parts of myself has created a sense of freedom, I think, to just like be me and to live. And I'm doing work that I absolutely love. Not that I didn't love my corporate career. I did. It served me very, very well. But being able to show women what's possible for this next chapter of their life, to do the podcast, to do speaking events, the mastermind groups that I run, like these things light me up on a daily basis. Like I am so excited to get out of bed, every morning and do this work. And that's like, I couldn't ask for something better.
Yeah, that's how we say that is with no price tag. Yeah. Right? There is no price tag for that. Yeah. It is no price tag for that. Powerful. It is so. You just said something that is now is stuck in my mind. It's like it's so wonderful to wake up like you have a purpose. You just come out of the bed and you know that your day is going to be awesome because you're running something that you love. You're running your day the way you want, and that is super mega powerful.
Well, I think whenever we are living from a sense of our passion and our purpose, like you can't help but like exude joy, right? Like you can't help but be, that can't catches on with other people because it's truly most authentically you. And I 100% believe like our job in this lifetime is to find and live as our most authentic self. Because the first part, we end up molding ourselves to do whatever responsibility we need to take care of, right? And then we unlearn all of that and then step into like the truth of who we are as people, because that's where our gifts lie, and the world needs all of our gifts.
That's right. Yes. What would you say to a woman right now, or to any women that would be stuck or would be going through what you've been through before? Like, what advice would you tell them?
Yeah. The very first thing I say to absolutely everybody is build a relationship with yourself. Like, get to know who you are. And to build that relationship with yourself, you have to spend time with yourself, just like you would any other relationship, right? So spending time alone doing something that you love. It could be walking in the forest, it could be, having a bubble bath, or whatever that looks like for you, and spend a few minutes by yourself, right? Like, not with your phone, not with a book, not with a movie, like literally just tuning into, what am I feeling right now? You could ask yourself questions, right? Like, what do I want today? How do I want my day to go? What do I need right now? Right? And get to know that part of you, because part of the reason that we feel stuck is because we are so disconnected from ourselves. Right. And when we build that connection and we start following our joy, and following our bliss, it actually leads us. Like, this next chapter of our lives is guided by what's happening inside of us. And it actually leads us to what it is that we want to do. And, it doesn't necessarily need to be a new career. Maybe it's spending more time with your grandkids, or maybe it's finally, creating art that you've never had time to do. Like, it could look like anything. And for a lot of women, I'm finding it's careers. Like, I'm seeing that over and over and over again in my groups, or starting charities, writing books, all of those things, right? But it's really about being guided by what is asking to be seen in you.
That's
right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So thank you, Jennifer. So if you are that women that are listening this right now, you also can get in touch with Jennifer. I believe she's got a discovery call, anything, and her all ways of talking to Jennifer is under all the information of this podcast session. So make sure you join. Another thing that I would also add to this, everything that you just said, is join a community, join a network of women that are already there on the next chapter. And you will see, just for being there, the power that you will feel, right?
100%. Yeah.
And how you will be changing without even noticing. The next day you will be a different woman, because it's a journey. It's not a thing that is going to happen from one day to the other.
Right.
You need to do certain steps to achieve where you want to be, what you want to do. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for that wise words and so truthful words. And could you please as well let the audience know how to get in touch with you, or how to find on social media?
Yeah. So my website address is Old Chicks No Shit. So it's KNOWSHIT. And you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on my website there is a guide that's 5 ways to get unstuck and create your kick-ass next chapter. So you could download that as well too. And it talks about, the first step is the one that I just talked about, get to know yourself, but there's 5 more things that you can do that can help you on your journey. And Facebook, Instagram. I also have a free Facebook group, all under the same name, Old Chicks No Shit.
Awesome. And you do run a podcast as well.
And yes, thank you for reminding me. Yes, there are the Old Chicks No Shit.
These powerful conversations are there, like the stories you share and you receive from other women like you've been getting to know during your journey, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the whole podcast started because I wanted to share powerful reinvention stories to show other women what's possible for the next chapter of their lives. So that's what the podcast is focused on.
Great. And do you run any discovery or initial call?
Yeah, from my website, you can there's a number of different call options. I also run a bunch of different workshops. So I'm running the next one in January, which is all about tuning into your intuition, to help you lead the way. And then I also have my mastermind community, which is specifically for our women who want support and accountability in building their next chapter life.
That's really good. Thank you so much. So like I said before, all this information is on the description of the podcast. Right now, you can straight away check Jennifer, get in touch with Jennifer, or get in touch with us. So you choose. But we are here all to support women, to empower and support women all over the world. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for your presence. I'm so grateful, and I wish you a happy holidays And a beautiful 2023. Loads of health, success, peace, harmony, wisdom, courage, and great. How you say it? Now I'm thinking about in Portuguese, but in gratitude into your
Ah,
life.
yes, gratitude. Yes.
Gratitude. Yes.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to have this conversation with you.
Oh, you're welcome. So take care, and we might speak soon again.
Take care. Happy holidays.
Okay, bye. So I hope that you enjoyed our conversation. It was just a little bit of this amazing work that Jennifer does. So make sure you get in touch with Jennifer, find more about her, because sometimes you need to click with people, but I'm sure with her light, you will be able to find straight away soon you see either her website or her Facebook or Instagram or any platform, social media platform. Uh, and thank you so much as well for joining us today. And I hope you enjoy. And we wish you, as a Women Flix, a beautiful season of Christmas and Happy New Year. God bless you all. Bye bye. Take care.